So here we are for the sixth round of the 1952 Formulalympics season, and it's our first of two endurance tracks. We are at, of course, Lemans. Being our first endurance race, it means it'll be the first of two races where we'll have both the F1 and F2 cars competing together. So, before we get into the multi-race, we must do their qualifying times. We'll do the F2 qualifying times first, then the F1 after that. And of course, with some context, the 110% rule will only apply to F1 cars. F2 drivers are exempt from this rule, which means all 10 of them will be guaranteed to compete in this race. So, without further ado, let's get to the F2 qualifying session first. So here we are for the qualifying session around Lemans for the F2 division. Of course, being Lemans, we're going to give both cars an extra 3 minutes, so which means it'll be a 15-minute session instead of the usual 12. And Maurice Trintignant sets the benchmark of 3 minutes 31.4. Now, will anyone be able to beat that time? As we wait for other drivers to get across the line, Hans Stuck is 3:35, Dennis Poor 3:34.3. Now Pierre Taruffi saying the fastest time 3:31.1, 3/10 faster than Trintignant. Now what about the 6 remaining drivers, as we are now just under 7 minutes to go, and Luigi Villoresi, the championship leader, beating his teammate by 0.2 per second, the only driver to be under 3 minutes 31. Now we've just got one person left, and that is Sam Hanks, and he goes fastest, 3 minutes 30.7, 0.2 faster than Villoresi. Now Sam Hanks has struggled in it with, he got third place in the reverse grid race, but in the main race he only got 7th, and that's pushed him down to 4th thanks to some other drivers' fortunes in the form of Trintignant. And yeah, so Maurice Trintignant pushed him out of the top 3, so Sam Hanks will be wanting some redemption, especially since gaining 3 bonus points will help him out. So now we just gotta wait for the 2 minutes to run out, and the session will be over for them. Well, actually, we'll just stop there and end the session. So we'll escape and we'll just stop the recording there and just go straight to the F1 race. So here we are for the F1 division of the qualifying session around Lemans. We've got the F2 division, now we're on to the F1. So and starting off is Jean Berra from France. So here comes Jean Berra to set. His time is going to be a 3 minutes 11.8. That's a pretty impressive time for everyone else to try and beat. So we'll see if that time can be beaten. De Graffenried wasn't able to pull those. De Graffenried does behind, not Fischer. Mike Hawthorne saying a 3 minutes 12.4, which is 6/10 slower than the Frenchman. So, but still a good time from the British driver. Giuseppe Farina is in second, the man who lost the championship lead after his DNFing in Monza, being passed by his teammate Alberto Ascari. 5/10 slower. Toy Ruttman comes in, and so it's Rui Fischer down in 6th place. So Rui Fischer behind his teammate Graffenried. So that's a good job for Graffenried. Bad news for Rui Fischer as José Ron Gonzalez on his return is into 5th place. Alberto Ascari, oh wow, this is not good. Alberto Ascari has only managed 11th place. That's really poor for his standards. As everyone apart from 2 drivers still yet waiting for one more driver to set a time. Van der Loh still at the back. Rudolf Kraus not much further ahead as Klodwig sets his time of 3 minutes 43.4. He is over 9 seconds behind Van der Loh. So go on board with Alberto Ascari. Oh, and Alberto Ascari going to the pits. He is going through Vanderloof, interestingly. So Ascari is not going to do another time. He is just going to settle for 11th as Landy and Reese improve their times. But they don't improve their positions, so 13th and 15th is still in. In fact, no, Robert Manson says that he goes into 3rd. Okay, so Manson did brave it out, but surely no, he's surely not going to do another time. Watson goes into pits and Graffery starts his flying lap now. There's Giuseppe Farina will be doing the same, doing his flying lap. Although it looks like there's someone who might just barely have enough time to... It's Chuck Stevenson, just with 10 seconds left to go, has just managed to get past the start finish line, so he can do one more lap of this race, of this qualifying session. And time is now officially up. So Barrett still leads, Farina's second, Chuck Stevenson could end up getting a bonus point because he's currently sitting in 3rd place. So that's very interesting of how that went down. So, how many of these drivers actually qualified and where will some of them be placed based on their results? Well, let's get on to the official grid and find out. And here we go, on to the grid for our first multi-class race with Sean Barrett on the front row alongside Giuseppe Farina in 2nd position, with Chuck Stevenson, the final bonus point holder, 3rd, with Manson 4th. Mike Hawthorne and De Graffenried is on row 3, with Gonzalez and Fisher row 4. Ken Wharton and Troy Ruttman rounds off the top 10, with championship leader Alberto Ascari down 11th, with Johnny Clays in 12th. Chico Landy and Freya row 7. Row 8 is both Western drives of Allman and Reese, followed by Jan Flintman, Gino Bianco, and the final F1 driver of Alberto Crespo, followed by Sam Hanks in 20th, which is the leading F2 driver. Both Italians on the row 11th, Trintian Brown row 13, Andrew Stevens and McGrath on row 13. 14 is Dennis Poor and Hans Stuck, with Willie Heeks taking row 15. It is the last driver on the grid, with 3 drivers failing to qualify. So the question is, who's going to win the F1 race and who's going to win the F2 race? Let's get on to the race and find out. So here we are for the race around Le Mans. As you see, Sean Barrett on pole with Giuseppe Farina 2nd and Chuck Stevenson 3rd on the grid, with Robert Manson on the 2nd row. So 2 French drivers in the top 4. And down in 20th is Sam Hanks in pole position for the F2 division, ahead of Villoresi and Taruffi, with the 2 French drivers 4th and 6th in the F2 category. So without further ado, let's get into this race around Le Mans. 15 laps. It should be interesting with so many with 29 cars on the grid, and we are underway, and it's a good start from Sean Barrett. Chuck Stevenson trying to get past Giuseppe Farina, but just not quite able to do it. And here comes Robert Manson to turn 1, and Robert Manson gets past Chuck Stevenson into the lead of the race. We've got both French drivers in the top 3 in the F1 division. Of course, we just gotta wait for the scoreboard to appear to give us an update on where everyone else is at. Now with so many names, I imagine it's going to start bleeding down to the all the way down here. Is we've got Sam Hanks taking the lead of the rate of the F2 division. Here goes Robert Manson to try and get past Giuseppe Farina to make it a France 1-2. Look at this, we're seeing the pile of cars going down the main street. Here's Ascari up, and there's Alberto Ascari up into 10th, getting past Tony Ruttman for the United States. As Manson makes his way to 2nd, so Team France currently in a 1-2 position, as Giuseppe Farina fighting back to try and get past the Frenchman of Robert Manson to get back into 2nd. Of course, Giuseppe Farina lost the championship lead after crashing out in Monza, so this would be redemption. This is races to be redemption for him, as we see Giuseppe Farina not only was he not be able to get past Monza, but it looks like he's under pressure from the drivers behind him, and Mike Hawthorne looks like he's going to try and make the pass. And so is Chuck Stevens. And then again, we've got cars everywhere. Hopefully everyone can get around this corner safely. Okay, we're down to the main straight. This could be Stevens' chance to get past Giuseppe Farina. He's going to go to the inside, but will he have the slipstream to get pass as we see Wharton trying to do the same with Graffenried. And Fisher, no, not Fish, and Fisher trying to do the same with Joseph and Gonzalez. Oh, that's sideways there from Gonzalez, but he is still through. And Fisher goes into 8th place. Alberto Ascari is sitting amongst the pack. He's half a second ahead of Tony Ruttman, so he's not in danger of falling out of the points position. But it looks like he's going to try and make the attempt of getting past. It is 3 wide on the chicane. Oh, and this is a very risky maneuver. And now look at that, Robert Manson is now going to take the lead of the race ahead of Sean Berra. This Stevenson third, still under pressure from Hawthorne and Farina. And we got overtakes up and down the field. And Sean Berra once again taking the lead. Oh, there was contact there. I'm surprised Farina managed to save that. But look at that, Robert Mansell now takes the lead of the Le Mans race ahead of his teammate Sean Berra. This Stevenson in third, Farina fourth, Hawthorne fifth, Wharton sixth, Graffenried seventh, eighth is Fisher, Gonzalez ninth, and Alberto Ascari into the top 10. The Robert Mansell's in the fastest time at 3:14.0, which is 2 seconds faster than his teammate, so it explains why Mansell managed to take the lead of the race, as we see everyone else going through to start lap 3 of 15 around Le Mans. As here comes Rudy Fisher to try and make the move. Oh, contact between the teammates there. That's not good. That's not going to do their team any favours, especially it's going to help Ascari try and close in. But meanwhile, here comes Joseph and Gonzalez to try and put the pressure on the Italian. And then further up the field, we've got Farina dropping down to 5th, so Giuseppe Farina seems to be really struggling here. But what about Alberto Ascari? Can he do anything about the head of him? No, he cannot. Giuseppe Farina, and oh, we've got contact! Mike Hawthorne's had a massive spin, and that's him off the road. Contact between him and Giuseppe Farina, and that sent Hawthorne off the road. And I think that's going to be the end of Hawthorne's race. It's Johnny Clace still trying to defend from the Brazilian, that is Chico Landi, but Chico Landi's got ahead. Yep, there we go. Mike Hawthorne has retired from the race, so we've had our first casualty around Le Mans. Sean Berra in the fastest lap, 3:14.0, 3 times faster than Chuck Stevenson. And whoa, slide there from Sean Berra, but at least he's managed to keep it together there. As we've got the F2 drivers coming into the pits after lap 3, so I guess the tyres for the F2 cars are really high, got a high wear around this track. That's going to make things interesting for the when the F1 cars will catch up to the back of them. Ascari is now up into 5th, getting past his teammate, but Giuseppe Farina is not going to let him go away that easily. I mean, Alberto Ascari qualified 11th, making his way into the top 6, so a very good performance there. The F2 cars still hanging in the pit lane. In fact, no, Willie Heeks is the only F2 driver to have not come into the pits this lap, and that's put him into the lead of the F2 class. As there's Joseph Gonzalez now getting past Toto Graffenried for 8th place. Now he's going to chase the other Swiss driver, that is Rudy Fisher. As we see Andre Simon doing another fast lap, half a second faster than his teammate. The gap is now 1.1 seconds separating the two French drivers. But Sean Berra is now about nearly 3 seconds ahead of Chuck Stevenson, and it's 3:13.5 is set by Manson. Manson is half a second faster than Berra. Remember, Manson qualified 4th and Berra qualified pole, yet Manson is the fastest man on the track. So as we see from the biggest gainers, we've got Alberto Ascari, who qualified 14th, is now in 4th. And the other biggest gainer is Jim McGrath, who started 26th, and he's now leading the F2 division in 19th. As you see here, he is coming to the pits again. He's about to lose the lead to Andre Simon, who's going to stay out longer. So we've got 2 French drivers leading both divisions. Okay, the 2 French drivers are staying out, which is good, but I think it's still too early because we're not halfway in this race yet. But here's Chuck Stevenson now being chased down by Alberto Ascari. 3:13 seconds, as we see, firstly, Alberto Ascari now sending the fast lap, and Huygens Robert Manson lap to lap. Dennis Poor is now at the back of the F2 race, of the F2 category. As Alberto Ascari now trying to put the pressure on Chuck Stevenson to get into a podium spot, but it looks like it's not going to happen just yet for him. As Villoresi now has been lapped by the overall leader in the F1 division. But here's Chuck Stevenson and Ascari swarming poor Dennis Poor. Coming into the first chicane, and Ascari's going to try and make his move. Does he get through? Ooh, not sure if he actually did or not, but it looks like Ascari has. If I know Ascari has definitely got through. He's into third. And that's Robert Manson now chasing down Peter Taruffi, that's ahead of him. Lap. Now this is Willie Heeks. Robert Manson has now got himself behind. Meanwhile, Alberto Ascari is caught behind Peter Taruffi. So you've got Andrew Simon now pitting from the lead of the F2 race. He does have a huge gap. In fact, both French drivers are going to pit. Although now is Sam Hanks pitting as well. Hans Stuck is quite a distance away, and he's going to be pitting regardless. Now who's going to come out first in the F2 race? Looks like Andrew Simon's going to hold on to lead, and Trintion's going to hold on to second. And here's Fritz Rees and Allman. All season, the two West German drivers have been battling each other for, well, in Monza they battled the same in France, and did the same. Well, I think they've pretty much done it in every race so far. And meanwhile, here's Sam Hanks and trying to battle with Trintion, but there's no! Sam Hanks had a bit of a spin, goes onto the gravel. Can he get back on the track? No, he is stopped, and I think that incident has put him out of the race. So that means we've lost an F2 driver as well as an F1 driver, so that is the end of Sam Hanks, the man who got pole position in the F2 division. That is such a shame. That is a shame that we've lost Sam Hanks. In fact, no, Sam Hanks is out the move. Okay, Sam Hanks is moving. Okay, I was about to mark his DNF. No, he is managed to get back on the track, but he is down in 8th place ahead of Heeks, and Dennis Poor is at the back. Looking back ahead, this Chuck Stevenson in 4th place. The gap between 1st and 4th is only 10 seconds, so not exactly a huge gap between 1st and down to 4th. And look at that, Sean Berra is now been passed by Alberto Ascari, so Alberto Ascari has managed to make his way into 2nd place. Now remember, Ascari qualified 11th, so he's made 9 positions. So he's just got to catch Robert Manson, and then he is in the lead of the race. Don't tell me that Ascari is going to somehow get the hat trick and win 3 races in a row. That would be, the world will go mad if that was to be the case, because wow, it shows Ascari is probably not the favourite to win the season, but he's going to absolutely decimate our first season of the Formulalympics. But we are getting close to starting lap 11, and Robert Manson does come into the pits finally. Ascari comes in and Berra comes in. Okay, so our top 4 drivers now come into the pits. I doubt the F2 drivers are going to unlap themselves because, well, they are quite a distance away. But now, there goes Stevenson to the pits, and Ken Warren comes to the pits. Can Manson come in and come out in the lead of the race? We are about to find out. Is Sean Berra already in the... Oh no, Sean Berra hasn't stopped yet. I was about to say, hang on, that was awfully fast, but no, not too fast. If it's too fast, we would have a problem, Houston. And Andrew Simon and Trintion coming into the pits now for the F2 division. That's the boards changing up and down. I was just wondering to see if anything's going to happen. Here comes Alan Brown to unlap himself and put himself in the lead of the F2 division. So Alan Brown will now be the actually, we've got a couple of cars staying out, and McGrath staying out as well. And look at this, Ken Wharton. Where on earth does this come from? Ken Wharton's now come out of the pits in the lead. Ascari just behind second. What on earth has happened to the French drivers of Manson and Berra? Even the F2 cars are coming ahead. And look at this. Chico Landi's going to come out. He's going to come out into third. Chico Landi has been down in 12th for most of this race, and now all of a sudden he's in third. What on earth has happened to most of these drivers? They are absolutely stuck. They're just stuck in the pits. Oh, talk about a sudden twist in the tail. So we've got Wharton leading, Ascari second, Landy third, Gonzalez fourth, Paul Frere is fifth, ahead of Fritz Ries in sixth, Clay seventh, Fisher is eighth, Ruttman ninth. I know all these cars are going at the same time, and Jean Bert's going to go from first down to 10th, Manson second down to 13th. This is an absolute disaster. Oh, what on earth has happened here? Giuseppe Farina has just spun round one of the West German drivers. What on earth was that about, Giuseppe Farina? I mean, we've got a battle for the lead here in the F2 division. It's Alan Brown for the UK and Jim McGrath for the USA. Jim McGrath, just like that, goes into the lead of the F2 cars. And now we've got a battle, and the battle for 11th still hauling up, and then Chuck Stevenson is going to 11th. Oh no, Giuseppe Farina's had a spin! Okay, let's get a replay for Farina. Farina's had another issue. Okay, let's take a look. What's their contact? Okay, let's see here. So we're still on board with Farina. This Chuck Stevenson next to him. I'm guessing there must have been some form of contact, because it's no way he just slipped down the order so quickly as Stevenson. And he's gone wide and locked up. Oh, contact with to the Graffenried. That was a big hit there, but luckily both drivers are okay and they're still in the race. Graffenried 12, Farina's gone down to 14. Look at the damage on Farina's front wing. That is absolutely ruined his race. And look at that. And here comes Graffenried under pressure from Manson. Manson looks like he's going to get back to 12th. 5th place for Belgium would be good for them. They are currently mid-table in 6th, so like directly in the middle of the table. But you know, 5th place, good result for them. Alberto Ascari getting the fastest lap again, 3:10.9. Compared to Wharton's 3:14, so 4 seconds separating the two drivers. And here goes Chico Landi's 33 seconds and dropping pretty fast. Ken Wharton, I think it's fair to say Ascari isn't going to be caught unless Ascari has a last lap drama, which I doubt is going to happen because he's pretty much got clear traffic ahead of him. He was actually not, if given him a couple more laps, he probably would have caught Bianco and Flintsman, but let's just be glad that didn't happen because, well, Perez will be lapped by an F1 car in this race. Well, that's pretty much bad enough because with how long the track is and how few the laps are. Look, with F2 cars you expected, F1 cars you wouldn't. But anyway, here on board with Alberto Ascari with just a couple of corners left to go. Alberto Ascari, for the 3rd race in a row, is going to win the race. He takes the gold medal around in Le Mans, and he laps Bianco just after getting past the start finish line. So Bianco will still finish on the lead lap. Here comes Ken Wharton to finish in 2nd place to take Ken Wharton's 2nd podium of the season. But the big story is probably going to end up being this here, which is Chico Landi. It looks like he is going to just hang on to get a bronze medal for the 2nd time this season. And here we are, our official results around Le Mans. Alberto Ascari winning the F1 race with Ken Wharton 2nd, and the big shot being Chico Landi getting 3rd for Team Brazil. Dennis Gonzalez 4th, Fisher 5th, Rutland 6th, Berra 7th, Clays 8th, Stevenson 9th, and Paul Freire 10th. And we look down to your F2 winner, that is Jim McGrath in 19th place, over 2 minutes behind Alberto Crespo, the only F1 driver to be lapped. Alan Brown taking 2nd, 3rd place going to Andrew Simon, after despite the fact both French drivers were high up the order for quite a bit of the race. And of course the only driver to have retired was the F1 driver of Mike Hawthorne on the 3rd lap of 15. So with that out of the way, it's now time to look at the F2 and F1 Drivers' Championships and of course the Nations Table. Looking at the Drivers' Championships for F1, we see Alberto Ascari with his 4th win of the season, making it no wonder why he is already the first driver to reach over 100 points, which is about 35 points ahead of 2nd place Giuseppe Farina, who of course left this round with no points apart from his 2 points for qualifying 2nd. Of course Ken Wharton now moves into 3rd position, just 3 points behind the Italians, but I'm pretty sure it's already obvious that Italy still retains the lead in the Nations Table. In the F2 Championship, Luigi Villoresi, despite only finishing 7th, does hold on to the lead of the championship, just 3 points ahead of his teammate Piero Taruffi, with Jim McGrath getting his first win of the season, putting him into 3rd place, just 7 points behind in 3rd place. In the Nations Table, Italy of course still are well out in front thanks to having 5 out of 6 victories so far this season, with the United Kingdom holding in 2nd place with a gap of 62 points separating them and the leaders. But however, United States are 20 points further behind in 3rd position, as this was not a good day for them, followed by France, Switzerland and Brazil in 6th position thanks to Chico Landi's 3rd place finish, putting them in 6th position, followed by Belgium, Argentina, West Germany, Netherlands and of course East Germany, the only team that did not appear for this race because neither driver qualified. So, what are my thoughts after the end of this race? Well, it's definitely clear that Alberto Ascari is going to end up dominating for the rest of the season, looks like, based on how well he has done within the first 6 rounds of the season. Giuseppe Farina slipping up after not scoring any points is a huge problem, especially when he is still trying to catch up to his teammate in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, in the Nations Table, with the dominance of Team Italy over 60 points ahead of 2nd place, I hate to say it, but I think Italy are probably going to end up absolutely decimating the competition in the Nations Table. And I imagine, with how things are going, I would probably give it until round 12 or 13 that they'll end up walking away with the title. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this race as much as I did, and hopefully next round it'll continue to get even more exciting. We'll find out if anyone can hold a candle to Italy, and if they can, who will be able to put up a title challenge against them.